What's up, y'all? I'm out here at the range. As you can see back behind me, it looks like it's cloudy, but that's actually smoke from up in Canada. Got them old crazy fires bringing that smoke down still, as y'all can see. It seems like it's a little worse this time than it was a couple of weeks ago, but I'm still getting some interesting stuff tested out here, trying to do a little bit longer range with the stuff today, and this one right here should be a very interesting 7.62 by 39 test. So as you can see, we got the split jelly contraption again. We got the chrono down here on this end, and then down there at exactly 51 yards, we got our gel blocks. So as you can see, I have done one test in this so far. It was actually a 5.56 test. I'll leave a link up above if y'all hadn't seen that, but this first one's completely clear and we ought to have plenty of room to get it done. And of course, I am sticking with my heavy clothing barrier that's got the layer of denim, fleece, and 2 layers of cotton t-shirt material. And as you can see, like I said, we're checking out a couple of 7.62 by 39 rounds today. It's going to be the copper versus lead, and we're going to start it out with some more stuff from Defiant Munitions. Y'all know those guys have been awesome for sending out the channel some ammo and stuff to test. They've actually sent me a couple more things that I'm not going to give away yet, but some really cool stuff, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But this right here is their 7.62 by 39 124 grain TCX. Now that's their total copper expander, so like I said, solid copper round. Very nice performance out of this stuff in the other calibers that I've tested so far. Even the 380, I have to admit, it had excellent expansion and it still got that minimum 12 inches of penetration. So those guys are really doing it right over there. One thing they actually do that I love, and I've mentioned it before, is not only do they put the velocity on the box here at 23.75, they also put the length of barrel, and this time they even put the 14.5 inch barrel, and they even put the twist rate 1 in 9.5 twists. So you can't beat that for information. Now, like I've mentioned before, I don't actually have an affiliate with Defiant, but it's very easy to find where to get this stuff from, and I do have a code that I'll leave that'll help you out if you're interested in getting something from them. And then what we're putting up beside it for our lead contender here is the good old Federal Power Shok jacketed soft point. Nothing special about it, just a soft point projectile there. Now this one's 123 grain, so 1 grain lighter than the Defiant. As far as ballistics, they've got 2350 at the muzzle here, and absolutely no barrel length that I can see at all. And what we're going to test these things out of today, as you can see, is the Ruger American Ranch in 7.62 by 39. Now this is a 16-inch barrel, and it is actually a 1 in 9.5 right-hand twist. But this ought to be a good one. I'm personally expecting good things from both of these rounds, but let me get it set up and let's see what they can do. All right, let's see if we can get some speeds on this stuff, y'all. I'm gonna start with the Defiant Munitions first, the 124 grain TCX. Now again, this was saying 2375 feet per second. Now, if y'all not familiar with this lab radar, I say it every time, I know, but some people hadn't watched. You're gonna see one big velocity, which is your muzzle, and then you'll see 5 below it. And I've got this set for 10, 25, 51, which is exactly where our gel is, and then 75 at 100. Now, we should get to 100 on this, but my range is real noisy, so it's not optimal for this Doppler radar, I can just tell you now. So I feel like we're gonna see 75, but 100 might be a little bit sketchy. Well, let's see what we get. I'm gonna do a 5-round average on both of them. What did I say there? 2375 is what the box is saying. Let's see what we get here. $23.58. We did get out to 100 on that one at least. $23.83. And see, we didn't get to 100 that time, I just noticed. 23.78, it said we'll give you 100, but we ain't giving you no more. Like I say, it's just a lot of noise, and it may be me ringing the steel too with it swinging a little bit. This radar is funny, plus all this smoke and stuff in there, I'm sure ain't helping it either. It's all right though, we're getting what we need. 23.60, we're getting out to 75 on all of them at least. Let's get one more to end it off with. And 23.73, and we got 100 on that last one too, so some pretty good stuff. What did it say, 23.75? Let's check the average on it. All right, so our 5-round average on that was 23.70, so 5 shy of what the box is. And now this was supposed to have been out of a 14.5-inch barrel, and I've talked about this before, not making excuses for anybody, but I know for sure these guys are at some pretty high elevations, so they probably got a little thinner air, easier for that bullet to move through. But anyway, 23.7 on that, 70 on the average, extreme spread of 24, and a standard deviation of 10.9, so not too bad at all. Let me get it reset and let's check out that Federal. All right, let's see what these 123 grain Federals can do. Remember, the box on this was saying 23.50, so if I was guessing, I won't say that yet. I won't put too much pressure on Defiant yet. Let's just see what they do. Let's just see what they do here. Get a 5-round average on this one also. Got 23.93. 23.62. 23.66. 23.85. And 23.57. And what I was going to say is, if I was betting on it, I would say that Defiant's going to be moving a little faster, even though it's just a grain heavier. And for most of those rounds, it actually was. Let's check out the average on that. All right, we did end up with just a hair higher average right there. Our 5-round average on that was 23.73. Now our extreme spread was bigger at 35 and a standard deviation of 15.3. And if you remember on those Defiant Munitions, it was 23.70, so 3 feet per second faster from the Federal that's a grain lighter. So that's probably about right. That's pretty much a wash. Now, as you can see, the Defiant had a smaller extreme spread and standard deviation, so more consistent than this Federal. Again, I think both of these are going to do really well in the gel. Now, I will say ahead of time that Pete over there at Defiant, he did message me and tell me that I might expect some pedal loss on this stuff under 100 yards, but we'll see what it does. This stuff right here, I'm expecting some fragmentation out of it big time, but hopefully they'll both stay together nicely. Let me get this reset and y'all know what time it is. All right, y'all, it's Piggy Popper Jelly time. I'm gonna put one of each round down there into the gel, starting with this Defiant Munitions first. Like I said, now we're at 51 yards down there, and this might actually get a little sketchy because I don't know exactly how dialed in this thing is. I think that was actually a perfect placement as long as it didn't come out the side. Let me go down there and check on it. All right, y'all, that stuff down there is looking really good. So this Federal has got its work cut out for it. I don't think this Federal's got nothing for that. I believe this Federal's gonna come apart, but maybe it'll prove me wrong. Let's see what happens. Now it's gonna get tricky for sure. Hopefully I can keep it in that block without hitting the bottom down there. I think that went real close, y'all. Let me go check it out and see if we can use that. All right, y'all, I could probably use that one, but it's gonna be hard for y'all to see the different tracks. It's completely separated and everything, and I also realized that my doggone GoPro overheated down there, so I didn't get the jelly cam. So I'm gonna take another one. I'm gonna try to put it up under it, see what we get. All right, that definitely went up under it. I hope it didn't curve out the side. It looks awful to the left. Let's see what we got. All right, let's check out what we got down here, y'all. I made an absolute mess with that first doggone Federal. That's just totally my fault. I was trying to keep it, make sure it didn't get into the bottom. And my point of impact on that Ruger American is a little bit low. And unfortunately, the crosshair I have in that optic doesn't have any kind of drop compensating mark. So I'm kind of guessing, but long story short, I guess too high. But that second one looks perfect. But unfortunately, it's a little crowded, but these tracks are completely separate. Y'all can see the two different entrances here. And I'll give you some different looks so you can get a good picture. Plus, that was a completely clear block, so you can go back and look at that slow-mo, and I might even freeze frame it in here when I start talking about this Defiant Munitions. So anyway, that being said, on the top is that Defiant Munitions. That thing came in here, obviously cared nothing about that cloth. I mean, massive energy. You can see all that blackened area. That's that combustion going on. Very, very nice disruption. Incredible looking wound channel. And that wound channel carries all the way through this block. I mean, there's still spiraling going on, even right there into the second block. And the projectile sitting here. And let me tell you something, that thing is huge. That is some huge expansion on that. There's three big old pedals. I mean, they're peeled back like just some kind of crazy banana or something ready to get something. That's a really, really nice expanded projectile. And then next up, obviously, was that first Federal. It's the one right up under the Defiant Munitions. You can see that track. It's pretty much behind that Defiant Munitions, though. Everything that you're seeing, all that blackened area, all that is that Defiant Munitions. You can probably see a little bit of that Federal poking out from behind it. It's basically below and behind that. And I'll pick you up and show you here. The one on the bottom here, it's separated pretty good. That's that Federal again. Now, comes in here, obviously did not carry anything about the cloth. Very, very nice disruption there. Carries on through that first block into the second block. And that one actually goes over halfway through that second block. You can see it sitting down here at the end of your picture. Now, the first one, it stopped about, I would say 2 or 3 inches beyond, well, probably 2 inches beyond that Defiant Munitions. That second Federal, though, that was completely down at the bottom, I mean, it kept on rolling, buddy. Now, as far as the expansion, definitely not near as much as that Defiant Munition, but they both look like they're expanded pretty well. So as far as the penetration, that Defiant Munition actually had forward momentum out to 20.5 inches and then rebounded a little bit. The first Federal went to 21.5 inches, and then that second Federal, I mean, it's all the way out here at 25.25 inches. So massive penetration on all three of them. Here's your look from above. It's still kind of tricky to see that. Like I said, all of that blackened area, all of that wound channel actually that you're seeing from this view, the entire thing is that Defiant Munitions. The Federal is down below it. You literally can't even see it from this view. All of that right there that you're seeing is that Defiant Munitions. And you can see that even on the outside of the block, there's damage from where it was such a stretch and such an energy dump right through there. And then carries on through, like I said, all the way through here. And just look at that thing. I mean, that's an incredibly expanded projectile. Now, your Federals, there's one of those and then one there. And if we follow that back, I'll give you a view here. There's your Federal on the bottom and on the middle. And then, like I said, if you kind of look underneath, you can see a little bit of that Federal. But then when you pull back, you can see. All right, let's check out these projectiles, y'all. If you would just glance at these things, I mean, you'd think they were different calibers altogether as far as the size. This Defiant Munitions copper round is just crazy big expanded. All three of those pedals just peel back. Like I say, it looks like some wicked banana peel back. I mean, that's very, very impressive looking right there. And these pedals are very, very hard, very, very thick, hard. You ain't bending these by hand. I mean, you are just not bending these things by hand. Now, the Federals, on the other hand, this one right here actually smacked into this Defiant projectile at the end, so I'm just going to toss that one to the side. I'm not going to use that as far as any measurements. But the other one, very, very nice expansion on it. Now, I have to say, the lead peeled back nice. You can see the pedals peel back nicely. Although it did lose quite a bit of material, you can see where it chipped off there on the sides, and I can see some in the gel. Whereas this Defiant Munitions, I would be willing to bet this thing lost absolutely nothing. I don't see anything in the gel, and I don't don't see any signs of any material loss on the projectile itself. That's just a very, very impressive looking thing. So let's measure them up and see what we got. Now the Defiant started at 124 and it's at 123.9. So absolutely nothing lost there. The Federal was at 123 and it's all the way down to 118.3. And now as far as your size here, I mean, this is going to be a big, big difference. This Defiant Munitions, you got 728, 699, and the biggest part right there is 849. I mean, that is just absolutely incredible expansion from a 7.62x39. That is huge right there. And in the Federal here, no question, it's a good bit smaller. You got 559, 543, and 560. So again, nice expansion on that, but just not even in the same ballpark as this Defiant Munitions when it comes to the expansion. And there you have it, y'all, a 7.62x39 copper versus lead showdown. Both of these, in my opinion, had some really good performance, but let me know down in the comments if y'all's making a pick between one of these, which one would it be? All right, y'all, I'm gonna call it right there for another couple of good 7.62x39 rounds. Absolutely great performance from both of these rounds out here. Fantastic expansion and penetration. Now, there's no doubt Defiant took the edge on expansion big time. Federal had the edge on the penetration by just a little bit, but both of them did a great job out here in my opinion. Y'all let me know down in the comments what you think about these. Like I said, you know I'm not much of a hunter, so my hunters out there, let me know about the performance you saw from both of these, and if you had to pick one of them, which one would it be and for what reason? If you did enjoy the video, reach down and hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and make sure you click those notifications so you get notified when I upload new stuff. If you're doing some shopping, check out those affiliate links in the video description. Like I mentioned before on this Defiant Munitions, I don't have a direct affiliate link for them, but it's easy to find where to get that stuff from, and I will leave a code. Like I said, it'll help you out a little bit once you get there. Once again, I appreciate all my Range Gang members and every single one of y'all out there for supporting the channel. I've done a couple of interesting tests out here so far today. I believe I've got plenty of jelly room for one more. I'm not sure about the daylight, but I'm gonna try to squeeze it in. Tons more stuff headed your way, so be on the lookout for that. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you soon.